The Golden State Warriors are looking to cancel the Gary Payton II trade. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors recently made a trade for Gary Payton II, but it could be absolutely cancelled, and we are going to be talking about that in today's video. And also, the Golden State Warriors recently versus the Los Angeles Lakers, so we're going to be going through a couple of reasons why the Golden State Warriors lost against the LA Lakers in today's video as well. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get straight into today's story. So as you all know, the Golden State Warriors traded a couple of picks in order to get Gary Payton II back. However, GP2 actually failed his physical with the Golden State Warriors and had a lot of concerns. The first concern was that the Golden State Warriors found out that GP2 has an injury in his core that could sideline him for the rest of the season. And the reason why this is the problem is that Golden State Warriors decided to make this trade in order to have him for the playoffs and win another NBA championship. Now, another reason why this was a problem is that the Portland Trail Blazers actually didn't tell the Golden State Warriors about this, and the Portland Trail Blazers were actually giving him some sort of substance that I can't say on YouTube in order for him to continue to play through it. And this was a big problem because the Golden State Warriors were not expecting this, and it had a lot of concerns about it. Now, because of this, and in the NBA rulebook, the Golden State Warriors have actually the opportunity to reverse this trade and get their picks back and Gary Payton II back to the Portland Trail Blazers. So this may be a sad day for a lot of Warriors fans. Now, when it comes to what the Golden State Warriors have done, it has recently been updated that the Golden State Warriors are looking to cancel this trade completely if they don't get the following things. So the Golden State Warriors have actually complained about the Portland Trail Blazers, and they want some sort of reparation for this trade, and due to the fact of the Portland Trail Blazers not telling the Warriors about this injury. So they want it where the current trade has been around 5 picks for Gary Payton II, and they want to drop it to around 2 or 1 pick for GP2 since he has an injury in the core, and that it might also sideline him for the rest of the season. So this is something that has been offered to the Portland Trail Blazers, and if the Portland Trail Blazers decline this, then the Golden State Warriors will cancel the whole trade, and a lot of the teams in this 4-team trade actually have their players reverted back to them. So if the Portland Trail Blazers decide to decline this counter offer, then we may not see Gary Payton II back in a Golden State Warriors uniform, which may upset a lot of Warriors fans. But let's get into reasons why the Golden State Warriors lost their most recent game against the Los Angeles Lakers. So the first reason is that Klay Thompson had a poor performance. Now, I'm not disrespecting Klay in any way in saying this. However, Klay Thompson definitely needs to step up due to the fact that Stephen Curry has been out for a while and will continue to be out after the All-Star break. So Klay is going to have a lot of games where he is going to have to be that main guy, and he unfortunately underperformed in this game against the LA Lakers. Now, in this game, he actually had 15 points, also had 3 assists and 3 rebounds, but he shot 5 from 21 from the field and also 3 from 13 from the 3-point line. So those numbers definitely need to improve if they want to continue to win, and even if he made a couple more shots, they actually would have won because the Los Angeles Lakers only won by 6 points. So this is something that is very important and something that we should appreciate from someone like Steph Curry to consistently provide 25, 30, 35 points every single game, and now Klay Thompson is in that role where he has to provide 25 plus every single game while Stephen Curry is out. So this is something that he definitely needs to work on, and something that he hasn't been comfortable with since he's always been the second splash brother to Steph Curry. But now's the time for him to improve that, and I think it's something that he definitely needs to add to his game ASAP if they want to continue to be in the playoff picture. So after this loss against the LA Lakers, this has actually put the Golden State Warriors in 9th place, and they could be in jeopardy of making the bottom 3, and because of that, they might not even be able to get a playoff chance ever since Golden State Warriors have lost Steph Curry. So it's very important that the Golden State Warriors continue to win games to give them a best chance possible of making the playoffs, because that's where I do think they can make an NBA championship once again. Now, as you all know, the Golden State Warriors, whether they're ranked 8th or 1st, I think they have a complete shot at winning the championship, and in order to do that, they definitely need to continue to win games. So Klay Thompson definitely needs to be more consistent day in and day out. He really can't go for 3 from 13, 5 from 21 if they want to continue to win, because all he needs is a couple more shots and they could have beaten the LA Lakers. So consistency is very important and something that Klay Thompson definitely needs, especially during this time with Stephen Curry out. The second reason is that Donte DiVincenzo needed to provide more scoring off the bench. Now, Donte DiVincenzo also had a pretty rough game because he only had 5 points while also having 3 assists, 1 steal and 1 block and 3 turnovers. Now, in this game, he actually shot 2 from 8 from the field, and on top of that, he shot 1 from 5 from 3. Now, Donte DiVincenzo definitely needs to bring up that scoring because the Golden State Warriors bench really does rely on someone like DiVincenzo to really provide for this team when it comes to that scoring department. And I think it is very important because, as usual, we also see DiVincenzo grab a lot of boards and a lot of assists, and he's basically that main guy for the second unit since Jordan Poole has been moved up into the starting position. However, DiVincenzo wasn't able to provide that, and you definitely saw that in the scoreboard because the Los Angeles Lakers beat them by 6 points. So I think this is definitely something that DiVincenzo needs to continue to work on, because now that Jordan Poole is outside of that second unit and he is now part of the starters, DiVincenzo has to be that guy for that second unit. When all the starters are off, he's the one everyone is looking at and the game is running through him. And that's why I think he is so important and vital to this lineup and will continue to be that in the coming years. So I do think DiVincenzo, although I love his game, and like I always mention with these videos, I love all the Golden State Warriors players, but in this game specifically, DiVincenzo definitely needed to step up, not only in just the points department, but also rebounds and assists and really just controlling the game. You definitely saw when he was out there, especially with the bench players, that he wasn't really doing a fantastic job at controlling the pace, controlling the game, and really having the game go through him. And that's something that they definitely need, especially for that second unit. They got a lot of players that are very young. You know, you got Kuminga, you got Ty Jerome, you got Moses Moody. So DiVincenzo and JaMychal Green are basically the veterans, and DiVincenzo being the main guy, he definitely needs to guide these younger players in order for what it takes to win this game, especially against an LA Lakers team. Now, don't get me wrong, LA Lakers are not even a strong team as well. You know, they are bottom of the food chain when it comes to the Western Conference, and that's one of the reasons why I was very surprised to see DiVincenzo struggling, Klay Thompson struggling, because it is just the LA Lakers, and LeBron James was also not playing this game. So this is something that they definitely need to continue to work on, and it's great to see that they are, you know, I guess getting rid of the kinks now due to the fact that it is still just regular season, because once it hit playoff time, you know, a loss is a big loss, especially when it comes to a 7-game series. The third reason is that Jordan Poole shot very inefficiently. Now, as you all know, Jordan Poole had himself a game if we look at the stats: 29 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, while also getting 1 steal and 2 blocks. So he had himself a stat line. However, when we look at the efficiencies of this, it doesn't look as good as it seems. He actually shot 11 from 25 from the field and also only shot 3 from 10 from the 3-point line. Now, don't get me wrong, those are some pretty good and average field goal percentages. However, if we're going off what Stephen Curry brings and what Golden State Warriors have as their standard, it is actually very, very low. And that's one of the problems playing with someone like the Golden State Warriors team, that, you know, the percentages and efficiencies are so high for this roster that if you're not averaging, you know, 45+% in the field goal, then you're not considered a great player. And I think that's what makes the Golden State Warriors such a fantastic team. But I do think Jordan Poole definitely needs to work on his percentages due to the fact that his inefficiencies have really hurt this team. If we look at someone like Draymond Green, who actually had himself a really good game, he only scored 12 points, but he shot 5 from 8 from the field and 1 from 3 from 3. So this was honestly really good to see from someone like Draymond Green, and I do think this is something Jordan Poole definitely needs to work on. Yes, he dropped 29 points. Yes, he had 6 assists and 5 rebounds, and yes, it doesn't sound nice. However, if we look at the inefficiencies in his shooting, it really does show that Jordan Poole should have had the opportunity to give up more shots to more players and maybe get them more on the scoreboard due to the fact that he was just missing a lot of shots in a row. So I think this is something that really needs to be worked on when it comes to Jordan Poole filling in Stephen Curry's shoes. Obviously, it isn't something that he can just do because Stephen Curry has been doing this for multiple years, and he's also, you know, the greatest shooter of all time. So I'm not expecting Jordan Poole to be, you know, Stephen Curry. However, I do expect that if he is missing a couple in a row, he looks at his other players and tries to hit the assist department. He did that last game, and that's one of the reasons why they got a lot more closer to the Portland Trailblazers than they did to this LA Lakers team. It definitely looked like the Lakers had it all the way through. In the Portland game, you definitely saw moments where the Golden State Warriors were there and, you know, the Portland Trailblazers just snuck away with the win. But I do think this is very important to actually understand, because Jordan Poole needs to be that guy that provides everything from this team. He is the point guard, so a lot of things do run through him, whether it's points, whether it's assists, and even rebounds, and I do think that is something that he really does need to work on. That's one of the reasons why Stephen Curry, especially this season, is actually averaging a lot more in rebounds, a lot more in assists, and also, you know, continuing to provide the scoring. But Jordan Poole needs to work on those inefficiencies, because it is going to hurt them in the long run, and it will hurt them over the next couple of games that are coming up, which are some crucial wins to stay in the playoff picture. The fourth reason is that Wiggins had a poor performance as well. Now, as you all know, Wiggins is coming back from an injury, so you could give him the benefit of the doubt. However, with Stephen Curry out, Wiggins needs to perform in order for them to win games, and that is something that he has been struggling with over the last couple of games as well. In this game, he actually had only 12 points. He also had 5 rebounds and 1 assist, while also providing 1 turnover. Now, he also shot 5 from 13 from the field and 2 from 6 from the 3-point line. So it isn't bad. However, it isn't really good when it comes to the field goal percentages. However, I do think what he does need to work on is definitely more of the rebound and the assist department as well. I think it's something that is a long lost art in Wiggins' game, and he did a fantastic job of really providing that when it comes to also the playoff time last season. And I do think he can continue to provide that even with Stephen Curry out. Jordan Poole looks to like the dish, and I do think Wiggins has a lot of opportunities not only to score but also to play great defense as well. So I think there's something that is very important and something Wiggins needs to continue to get back to his tip-top shape. He was averaging around 17 points before the injury, and lately he's only been averaging around 11 points so far. So there's a lot of things that he needs to improve on when coming back from that injury, and obviously it is hard to come back from that. However, it is time for him to finally step up due to the fact that Stephen Curry is out and there is no time that they can waste. So with Steph out, Wiggins is now the third main option, and he needs to continue to provide at least 15 to 20 points in a game in order for them to really have a chance. If Wiggins is a complete threat out there with Klay and also Jordan Poole, they could be very hard to stop because the LA Lakers in this instance, or even other teams, won't be able to guard all three of them very well. So I think this is very important, and I do think these are some of the reasons why the Los Angeles Lakers actually ended up beating the Golden State Warriors.